Today's episode is brought to you by Organifi, the best tasting green blend on the market. They're cold processed, guys, to retain all of the nutrients. And if you're looking to fill all the nutritional gaps and buffer out that new stress that your body has to deal with on a daily basis, check out Organifi.com. That's Organifi.com and use the promo code SUCCESS to save 20% on your order. And now to today's show.
I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Wesley Phillips.
On, y'all. Happy New Year.
Dr. Douglas Thomas.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas is gone. It's beginning to look a lot like New Year's.
It looked the same, though.
I think New Year's and Christmas, is no New Year's really hookup. It's like Christmas spill over, so yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. It is. No, but it's 2018, man, and I'm excited because it's the top of 2018, and we have an incredible guest in the building. My man, and I can't wait to tell y'all this incredible story. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is inspiring. I didn't even know about it. I'd known him for
years.
At least like 10 years now.
7 years.
6, 7 years, and just, really dug all the way into the story, man. But my man Jamal King is in the building. Jay, what's up, man? How you feeling?
Man, what's going on, brother?
Happy New Year, brother.
Chi-Town in the building.
Chi-Town.
I'm talking about South Side, though.
The real South Side.
Okay, I didn't know if you was West Side or not.
No, the real South Side.
Yeah. Are you Connie's?
Man, I'm home run in, bro.
Oh,
right
you
there.
He Lolo home run in. That's hood.
Right, that's hood.
Those of us not from the Chi.
Right, for the rest of us.
Those of us not from the Chi, I believe they're referring to pizza.
There you go. We're talking about not just pizza, but the real deal.
Yeah, no doubt. But pleased to have you join us, man. For real, it is an honor to have you on the show. And man, shout out to everybody in 2018, man. We got the challenge going. The challenge is underway. Carl is looking like Usain Bolt over there. He's shredded already. Man, we're doing the Fight the Fat Challenge. So shout out everybody who's joining us. You still got time to join us at breatheuniversity.com. But man, we are rocking and rolling, man. And shout out to everybody who decided to join this mission. Man, I want to do a quick fair file in 2018 because I noticed, maybe I was late to the party on the story, but I noticed that my phone was getting slower and slower. And so somebody sent me an article, and it turns out, I know I might be a week or so late, Jay, but did y'all see iPhone is purposely slowing down phones so that you got to go buy the new phone, bro?
Yeah, bro, I saw it, and
inflating the football.
The
flatter phone.
Dog. So yeah, they purposely suppressing your phone to make you get the new one. And now, is that fair or foul?
it's definitely foul.
Fair foul.
It's definitely foul.
It's economics.
Hey, I've been a victim of it because just about I'm one of the people that get an iPhone every year.
Yep.
And so I think I've been a victim of it of years. And I just always thought, man, this phone is a little bit slower than the other ones.
Right.
I need to upgrade.
I'm saying though, did Brady get fined for the ball situation? If he did, then we need to go ahead.
No, I'm saying, because you know what my new thing is crazy. Like, for whatever reason, I can't, like, you know how you look at your phone and then turn it sideways? Yeah. Now mine just gets stuck in portrait mode or landscape mode, whatever it is, and I can't come back. I got to shut my whole phone down, turn it back on just to get it straight up.
Mine, it does that when I try to merge calls. I can't even see you to get back to you, and I gotta cut it off and cut it back on, and I just thought I was the only one.
Hey, no, so my home button just gets stuck. So
he got the 10
I got the 10.
Oh, that's true. Oh,
but they told me it wasn't the phone, it's the software.
You didn't upgrade your software.
I figure I paid for this phone.
It should come with everything.
Everything should have came, upgraded, updated, everything should have just came with the phone.
You would think. No, they're not doing like that.
My phone got stuck yesterday at E's house. And he actually showed me how to fix it or whatever. I turned it sideways.
He's an iPhone aficionado.
Right, I turned it sideways, it wouldn't work. And he kind of took my phone and was like, hey, you got to do this, that. So I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, no doubt, man. How was your New Year, man? Break it down. I was at the house, man, with the fam, just, chilling. I'm too old now to see the ball actually drop. So
what does that mean? You too old?
I'm just saying midnight is late, bro. Midnight is late. Like, I literally tried to stay up, and about 11:47, I did not make the ball dropping all the way. So, but no, man, beautiful time with the fam. Pops cooked. Man, we had, family dropping by the whole time. Of course, the kids doing their thing, man, and just a beautiful time. So how was y'all New Year? How did y'all bring in the New Year? Did you have the Black Eyed Peas, E?
I'm talking scrimmage to you, baby. You know Didi every year, Southern roots, you gotta have the Black Eyed Peas for luck, the greens for money. And I don't know if I believe in it, but it's looking like it's working. But I did ask her where the macaroni and cheese come from. I'm not really sure. I want to know where the mac and cheese come in with all of that. But no, phenomenal church event. You know what I'm saying? We had the church, what do they call that? Watch night? Watch night. So yeah, pizza, games, fun, and just spending time together as a church. I must say this, having our own building now, like, I was feeling the basement, the grind, and selling out the garage, out the trunk. Like, I felt that. But having our own 16, Jamie, first it was 5.1 and 5.2 and 16. I don't really know how many acres it is. It's somewhere between 15 and 16, but legitimately having our own space where we can come when we want, leave when we want, and just enjoy it. I really am enjoying I'm enjoying this, boy. But I got a fair file too when you finish. I need to ask you about this fair file,
New Year's,
Hey, celebration mode, man. From Christmas to Jordan's birthday, right into the church hanging out. Just staying in celebration mode, man. Just, family, just fun, man. Just watching movies. I'm staying up late. I am staying up late. I'm talking about probably till 12:30 most nights. But we getting it in, man. Just enjoying that.
You reliving your teenage years.
I'm all back in. I'm back in college again.
What kind of animal are you? You know what I'm saying? 12:30. And Jay, man, New Year's was straight.
Oh yeah, beautiful, man. Pops every year makes a pot of gumbo. And, sometimes we call it yumbo. It's so good.
Wow.
He got a little bit of everything in there. He still ain't taught me the secret yet.
Yeah. He won't give you the recipe?
He won't give me the recipe yet.
He'd have to kill you.
Right. He's like, hold on, man. You the prince. You ain't the king yet. I'm still on the throne. So for right now, you just enjoy this. He told me about a couple ingredients, but he ain't told me about everything that he put in there. So so he go off to the side and he do his
Where is he from, Louisiana?
Nah, he's from Mississippi, man. West Point, Mississippi.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Same thing.
Close enough.
Same thing. So he from down south.
Yeah, no, dope, man. E, you got a fair file for us as well.
We've been doing this. Didi and I have taken Chris Daniels' assessment and turned it into our marriage boy, right? So one thing that we agreed on was I have a hard time with not orders from my wife, but it seemed like 90% of her stuff is stop, drop, and roll. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not just what she asking me to do, but it's stop, drop, and roll. Like all of it seemed like immediate. So we had a conversation like, this is what we need to do. I don't mind doing stuff for you, but can you give me some notice? You know what I'm saying? And she's like, first of all, I feel like that's weak. I'm like, I know, that's the gorilla in you. Feel like it's weak. All right? But I'm trying to tell you what I need. So she's like, bet, I'm gonna try to give you a little bit more time. So why did she say on the last podcast we did, she's like, y'all finished? I was like, yeah. She's like, good, go get a U-Haul. I said, a U-Haul? Yeah, go get a U-Haul. I just found some stuff for the church. We're getting a school.
And then he was so pissed off, he ran the U-Haul into the
building to get back at her. And so I'm just saying, is that fair file? See that I had to stop what I was doing. Yeah. It was -4, and I vowed to never move ever again. I will pay you. If you call me and say, E, can you help me move? I'll say,
I got money for 2 men.
I got money on that for you. I will help you get a truck and 2 men. And it's a fair file that we had just talked about giving me 24 hours, and she gave me less than 3 minutes. And am I dumb for doing it? You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as it was over, I was like, Carl, I got Carl in it because his wife was there too.
She got 2 men in the truck.
I was like, Carl, what we doing?
What were y'all moving?
Man, they had...
cribs, cabinets, all kind of stuff.
All kind of stuff.
To the church?
Yeah,
bringing it
for
to
the daycare.
From where to the church?
It was in DeWitt. Some company had gone out of business. They were no longer, and I'm talking about it was new stuff though.
Yeah, stuff looked good.
It looked great, brand new stuff.
-4?
It was -4 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could die.
But hey, man,
you know
I'm
what I'm saying? I
I'm
could
sure
die.
that sale price they got it for was worth it.
And that's what she said. We back to less than 24 hours, letting me know though.
A smart man once told me I got more money than I got time. You know what I'm saying? So look, I'll pay full price, and I get it when it heat up a little bit when I feel like going. The $75 I'm about to save is not worth my life. And so, then you did run
You know what? See, here's the
Hey,
crazy.
so look, we show up at the church today, and he was like, "Yeah, I hit that joint." Yes, I'm like, "What?" I look up. The whole support brick of the church looked like it's about to fall in, and Carl done parked
What's so
underneath
crazy
it.
though is I told Carl we had done the whole run, was at the church, finished. We was on our way out.
Back to
so I was
U-Haul.
like, yo, Carl, it was so weird. This out of my mind, man. I just gotta pray for my mind. I was just like, yo, they told me if you tear the top off, you gotta pay like $150 or whatever. And I was just like so geek, like, yo, I ain't get into no accidents. Bet. So me and Carl was leaving, and I saw a UPS note on the door. And so I'm trying to be like, all right, let me go get the note. So I left one building, go to the other building to get the note off of it, and didn't pay attention. I'm being real. I'm so grateful it was snow on the ground, because if it wasn't snow, I would have been probably doing like 25, 30 to that joker. I was probably only doing 10, 15,
baby.
and the truck just stopped. And I was like, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? The truck stopped. You know what I'm saying?
You checking the gas and brake and
I didn't check nothing. I stopped. And I only stopped because in the new Escalade, if you're about to hit something, it stops for you automatically.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't think the U-Haul had a little sense of point. Okay, it's acting as a tell you that.
Must be in 2018.
It just stops. I was like, bet.
Let me give it some gas.
So I didn't do anything. Carl got out and got the hookup, and Carl was like, I was like, what? He was like, you hit how you have the, the underpass? So
The clearance was 16 foot, the U-Haul was 16.
It was 17.
Oh, was it 17?
I remember the minute
If I'm not mistaken, isn't it a sign out there?
It's a little bit of a sign.
16.4.
It says 16.4. Okay. We thought it was
But I'll be
16.3.
honest, when you in a U-Haul, it's high.
Oh, high. But it don't feel that high.
It doesn't. It didn't. And so I thought that, and now I got out.
Hey, so I'm gonna say 5.
You got insurance?
Yeah, it was like a little mayhem commercial.
Hey, the good thing is U-Haul did not. I hope they don't listen to the podcast. They ain't no scratches. I ain't seen nothing at the top. U-Haul, they good.
Straight.
Yeah, they
But
good.
Jamie got a little work to do. Good thing is drywall out there.
He has set back our renovation schedule about 6 months.
Hey, I told Carl I might have upped it because they ain't done nothing. So now with the cosmetic damage, hopefully they'll go and make it happen. Jay,
shall
you here,
see.
Jay. We won't tell you a story, but hopefully you can look at it and tell me how much damage it's gonna cost.
Hey, when we walked in, I was like, hey, is that structural? 'Cause I did see a crack. It looked like in the foundation right there. So we gonna check that out after the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm talking about we not safe right now.
As we speak.
This podcast is in jeopardy.
Before we walked in the door, I'm like,
You know what I'm saying?
this is
Don't walk underneath that. I promise you. You talk about a lawsuit. I'm suing U-Haul and E. You know what I'm saying? I want both of y'all gone. Man, Jay, so I don't even know where to start, man, but I want to get into your story, man. Just an incredible story. And, obviously I've become, like family to us now. Definitely. And so it was important for me. I was like, man, how can we, kind of share this story on the podcast? And so we'll just kind of walk through it. And I want you to be able to give some insight to people, man, because I think there's so many powerful gems throughout your story. But it kind of, for you, we'll fast forward, Chicago, your whole life, born and raised, and spent all your time there, and then ended up going marrying your high school sweetheart. Were y'all married before y'all went to college, or y'all got married?
Oh man,
okay.
When we went to college, man, my wife, she's like a brainiac. And so she graduated from high school at the age of 16, and then graduated from college at the age of 19. And then after she graduated from college, she was the youngest manager at Enterprise Rental Car at 19 years old. Wow. And so, so we were
Beast
still,
mode.
Yeah, beast mode for real. So we were still pretty young.
Okay, gotcha.
Actually, man, she was making more money than I was coming out of college.
Yeah, for sure. And y'all went to school, you played football.
Yep, I played football. We went to high school together. Then I ended up going to college first. Then she came the year after me. I was playing football, Western Illinois University.
Hey,
Leathernecks. And then she came on the campus, and And that was that. Didn't make it to the NFL.
Yeah. Some injury, like
I had some injuries. ACLs. I had a stomach injury, broken bones, and for whatever reason didn't make it to the league. But a few of my buddies made it to the league, and that was the time in my life where I was exposed to that NFL life. So I wasn't in the NFL, but I got exposed to the NFL life because of my partners.
Right. And so you saw that, but you chose to kind of go into the family business.
Yeah, well, the family business, man. I come from a blue collar family, and when I say blue collar, like it's really blue collar. Like my dad was a Chicago police sergeant for 30 years. Wow. My mother was a Cook County sheriff, correctional officer, and so they literally had blue collars every day. And so I had uncles that was in the police department. And so everybody around me, and then my older brother, he became a state trooper. And so everybody around me was in law enforcement.
Wow, that's big.
And so, my whole life, man, my dad and my mom, they used to always ingrain in us and ask us, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I remember my older sister, she started saying, I want to be a teacher. And to this day, she's a counselor in high school. My brother was next in line. My dad used to always say, hey, Junior, what you want to be when you grow up? And my brother would look at him and say, Dad, I want to be a sergeant. I want to be a police just like you. And to this day, my brother is a sergeant with the state police. And then it was my turn, but my little sister, she was like 4 years younger than me, and she was tugging my daddy's leg and say, hey, Dad, my turn. He said, okay, baby, what you want to be when you grow up? She said, I want to be a teacher too, like my big sister. And to this day, my sister's a principal. And then my dad, I was like the problem child.
Yeah.
And, he's like, okay, son, it's your turn.
Yeah, go for it.
Come on. Treat me right. He's like, what you want to be when you grow up, son? And I remember looking at my dad, and I said, I want to be a millionaire. And so that always stayed in my head.
Yeah.
And when I didn't make it to the NFL, I was kind of in a state of shock.
We had a segment on this podcast called "The Day I Found Out I Wasn't Going to the League" or something like that. And I think we all had these dreams of being able to, support our families with, some huge aspiration, like, whether you're gonna be an actor or entertainer or, go to the NFL, NBA or something like that. But that wasn't in the cards for you. And so then you picked up the family business.
Yeah, picked up the family business.
Right out of college, became a police officer.
Became a police officer in Chicago. But during that time as a police officer, man, that's when post-traumatic sports disorder set in on me.
Yeah, I love it. Say that one more time.
Never heard that.
Post-traumatic sports disorder. Not stress disorder, but sports disorder.
Yeah.
And CJ, I know you went through it, and anybody that played ball out there, that's when you going through high school and college.
I didn't go through it.
And that's when you the man.
Halfback didn't make it to the league.
I'm telling you, they really need to look into that because, bro, you know the feeling. You was Mr. Michigan, like the #1 player coming out of high school, and that's where you the man. I'm talking about, man, you signing autographs, you kissing babies, shaking hands, taking pictures, and then all of a sudden, man, it's taken away from you in a second. And then now you working for the police department.
Yeah, and you looking like now what? And you're a rookie cop, and so
rookie cop.
You actually, you joined the family business, you became a police officer, and that was kind of like, for you, that was probably a sense of pride, right?
It was a sense of pride. It was a sense of legacy. It was a sense of, my parents was happy. I remember at my graduation, my dad wore his, uniform. My brother wore his uniform. My mom wore her uniform. So it was a sense of like, man, my son made it. He's part of the family. Like E used to say, keeping the dynasty alive. But the only problem is, man, ever since I was 8 years old, that wasn't
to be in the league.
I wanted to be in the league. And then really, you know what? I didn't want to be in a league. I just wanted to be a millionaire.
Right.
And so the league was the only thing that I was exposed to at that time. That's the only thing I saw looking at people on TV. So I thought that was the only way that I was going to make it to become rich.
And I think that's critical. And you said that, one of your close friends or a few of your close friends had made it to the NFL. And here you are now, a rookie Chicago police officer, and you're going to visit your friends. And they now have signed these multi-million-dollar contracts.
And arguably, you said you might have been better than a couple of these cats.
I'm telling you, bro, it's one thing, man, and this is why post-traumatic sports disorder set in, because here it is, you on the same field, you go to the same school, same class, you got the same uniform on, and all of a sudden, this person goes to the NFL, and mind you, he showed me his paycheck. My buddy showed me his paycheck in the league. He was making $200,000 a week, and I was making $1,200 every 2 weeks. Oh, it got quiet in the room.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about the feeling,
question.
bro.
Yeah,
Just
no
1
question.
minute ago, both of y'all getting scholarships.
Yep.
You know, y'all in the same place, same dorm room, and all of a sudden, he's making $200,000. Matter of fact, the game I went to, bro, he made 8 tackles that game and 1 pass breakup, which is that's a pretty good game. He got paid $200,000 that week. I locked up probably about 3 felons. got shot at, got into a couple foot chases, and then for the 2 weeks worth of work, I made $1,200.
Yeah, and here my man out there playing ball. Yeah, $200,000. But I think that's important to the story was you saw it, and while you weren't necessarily, you wouldn't use the word jealous, but you were kind of. You at least motivated by it, right? You thought you were like, man, I got to figure something out.
Exactly.
And so I'm with the family legacy. Yeah. I'm down. I'm with y'all. I'm down to do this, but I got to do something else. And then you talked about, you mentioned being shot at, but there was actually one particular instance that kind of like shifted your thinking. So here you are out of college, trying to figure this thing out, become a police officer. You got your boys, making all these millions of dollars and living good and all of this. And then here you are, out on the beat, on the streets. And then you had a situation with a young man and walk us through that situation and then how that kind of shifted the thinking in terms of, okay, I got to really do something now. So
yeah, eye-opening experience for me. I was working midnights. It's called the Gresham neighborhood in Chicago. It's one of the communities where led the city of Chicago in homicides. And, Chicago led the nation in homicides. Here it is. I'm a 22-year-old cop at the time.
Unbelievable.
And I'm just working with my partner. I'm going through training. And it's about midnight. We see 4 guys, young kids just standing out there on the corner. We just going up to talk to them and say, hey, take them home for curfew. I grew up in the community that I worked in, so, I wasn't on all that other stuff a lot of police officers you hear about be on. Just going up to the young guys to take them home. Walk up to the young guys, ask them, where they live. One kid pushes me, take off running. So I was like, hey, everybody just scattered. So I'm gonna start chasing the guy that pushed me. I'm chasing after this kid. He runs in a dark alley in between 2 large buildings. There's nowhere to go. It's nothing but this huge, 8-foot fence with barbed wire on the top of it. My partner was an old timer. He wasn't nowhere to be found. He jumped in a squad car to come follow us because he couldn't keep up with us. This kid, man, hops on the gate, climbs up the gate where the barbed wire is, start cutting himself. I'm trying to grab him. While I'm trying to grab him and pull him down, he pulls out a Tech 9, points it right at my head. I grab the gun. And at the same time, the kids start pulling the trigger and nothing but bullets just start flying over my head. That was scary, but the scariest part was when my partner came, he starts firing, he sees the kid shooting, he starts firing at the kid. I'm right there in his line of sight. And bullets, he unloads 16 bullets. Now the kid falls over the gate and he takes off running. I hit the ground, the gun falls down, but my partner, all his bullets go, is an apartment building across the street, 18 units, all the bullets flying to that apartment building over there. We call in the shots fired. Supervisors come on the scene, all the brass. And at that point, man, they like, okay, guys, give us your guns. They take our guns from us. They separate us. They put us in separate squad cars. So now we sitting in the back of the squad car, and they like, hey, you guys, the detectives come out there and talking to us. They get on the air and say, hey, we need to check out the building across the street because you guys' bullets possibly went into that building. Now, I didn't fire a shot at all, but whatever your partner do, you do. You guys are a team.
Yeah.
So the supervisors give the order. They say, hey, knock on the doors. If nobody answers, you have permission to kick in the door. Now, here we are. I still got my radio on me. We hearing this all take place. I mean, my heart just beating, bruh.
Right.
I ain't never been so scared. I was just in college 8 months ago. My boy in the league making $200,000 a week. I'm making $1,200 every 2 weeks, $600 a week. And I'm sitting in the back of a squad car right now. So I called my dad on the phone like, Dad, he knew something was wrong instantly. I called him at midnight. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, man, I'm okay. We got into a chase. My partner shot across the street and the bullets went to apartment buildings. So they checking right now to make sure nobody's in there shot. So here it is, they knocking on unit number 1. And they like, nobody's answering the door. And they like, okay, kick in the door. So they kick in the door and they go in there. I mean, imagine, man, how that felt.
Yeah.
You know, you just thinking to yourself like, man, something that you done possibly now, it could be a kid in that apartment building actually shot. And so here it is, man. You know, they went through all 18 units and everybody was fine. Nobody was shot. And then at that point, they come to the car now and they patting us on the back. Good job, good shooting, good job. But it wasn't a good job. I seen how it was beforehand. You know, I saw how they separated us and how they made us almost feel like I was a criminal at that time. So that was another traumatic,
no question.
You know, experience.
You about 20 traumatic experiences.
Yeah,
22.
And so I said, something gotta happen. Something gotta change. I can't. Yeah, I can't. This can't be me for the next 30 years.
Yeah, no, I got you. And so, I would have retired right now. I'd have been, look, Dad, I'm not gonna be able to fulfill the family legacy after all. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do some paperwork, be an accountant. So after that, and not too long after that, I think you kind of said, all right, cool, I want to be able to, you know, achieve this dream of, you know, becoming a millionaire and all of these things. But you continued to be a police officer. Matter of fact, you're still a police officer to this day.
12 months to go.
12 months to go.
How many years now?
That will make, it's 18 now. So you have to do 19 and a day. Wow. And that last day, bro, I'm
we going the whole run in.
It's on me.
So, but you wanted to be able to set yourself up so that when it was time, because you knew this day would come, you're still a young guy. Yeah. You wanted to be able to set you and your family up. And so you started this entrepreneurial journey. And, you know, we're entrepreneurs. And so we know about, you know, taking risks and all those things. And so what was your first entrepreneurial, move that you made after that situation?
Well, the thing about it, see, I always said I wanted to be a millionaire. But when I was going, you know, to visit my friend, I was exposed to the lifestyle.
Right.
So I knew that being a police officer wasn't gonna make me a millionaire, but I said I still want that lifestyle.
Yep.
Every time I went out there, you know, they had the kids wearing the plaid outfits, you know, going to school with the little neckties, and I said, man, I want that for my kids. I seen their wives not working, you know, they going shopping in the daytime while everybody else at work. So I was like, you know, I saw what I did, I didn't chase the money. I started chasing a lifestyle because I knew it was easier for me to get the lifestyle. And so at that point, I said, okay, I wrote down all of our debt, our current debt and our future debt. And so we said, hey, this is the type of house that we want to live in. And I figured I went and looked up how much the mortgage would cost me for the type of house that we wanted. I wrote that amount down, and let's just say that number came out to $3,000 a month mortgage. So what I did, I devised a plan where I can cover all of my debt with real estate so we can maintain that type of lifestyle. And so we wrote down all of our debt. We wrote down the type of house we want to live in. We wrote down the type of cars we want to drive. We wrote down how much our kids' tuition would cost. And we didn't even have kids at the time. But we just figured we want 3 kids and this is how much private school costs. We researched everything. And then when we researched everything, we came up with the number of, you know, at the time it might have been $5,000. So we're saying, okay, our lifestyle is going to cost us $5,000 every single month. So we devised a plan to purchase enough real estate and bring in enough residual income to cover our lifestyle. And then now, I might have not been making $200,000 every single week, but yet I still lived like I was making $200,000 every week. I had the house and it was paid for by somebody else. I had the cars and it was paid for by somebody else. Kids, tuition, paid for by somebody else.
Yeah, and so let's start slow though. Because you know, on this podcast, what we try to do, Jay, is give people practical tips. You know what I'm saying? Like strategies for going to that next level. And a lot of people who listen to us, they write in questions all the time and they say, yo, I want to start this entrepreneurial thing, but I'm working. You know what I mean? I got a job. I'm working 8 hours a day. I got a 9 to 5. How do I balance this? So your very first property though, you went out and how much did it cost you? What did you do to get your very first property and start, you know, trying to cover those expenses? What was the first thing did you take a real estate course?
No, actually, man, I was blessed though. A college teammate of mine who's actually a best friend of mine, and he's from Detroit actually. His uncle was a big time real estate guy in Chicago. And he introduced me to a real estate broker, and her name is April. Shout out to April. She's still my real estate broker to this day. And she actually, I told her, because here I am coming from Atlanta, watching my boy play, and I was like, hey, I want a house like this. And then that's when she took me around and was saying, well, what you have, you know, from what you make, this is the type of house you can afford. But if you purchase these properties, then you eventually can get that type of house. So we went around and looked at 77 different properties before we actually bought the first one.
Wow.
77 properties before we bought the first one. And that first property was a 4-unit apartment building. I don't know how the real estate market is here in Lansing or in Atlanta, but in Chicago, this is a 4-unit building. So it's 4 apartments, you know, in one building. Each one of these apartments, 3 bedrooms, each apartment. I was making more money from this one building. I was netting more money than what I was netting from my Chicago police job. And all I was doing was just renting this apartment building out to people. I purchased the property. I did some cosmetic work at the time, paint, carpet, cabinets, doors.
Yourself? You did it yourself?
No, I did some of the work myself, but then actually, my buddy's uncle helped me out. And went in, rented it out, and was netting more money. So here it is, I'm 22 years old, and I'm making more money from this one building than I was making from my police job. Instantly. But like I said, it wasn't quick. 77 properties first.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, you know, if you can help me out, because a lot of times I think, though, Mal, what the problem with a lot of people are is they go to the behavior first. You know what I'm saying? They go to, because they listening now, and they going straight to, I'm about to do real estate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be cautious. Can you just talk, just real quick, the mindset? Because when you blue collar your whole life, there's a mindset, bro. And that entrepreneurial mindset is not the mindset
Not at all.
of blue collar. So kind of walk me through a little bit of how you did that. And, you know, it's not like you get a lot of support when you grew up in blue collar and you start doing entrepreneurial work. Sometimes your people look at you like not, you know, I'm not gonna say they don't support you, but it's so foreign to them that they don't support you. Talk me through, did you read a book first? Did you see something on TV? Was there some Les Brown, something like, what happened to you mentally that you was like, blue collar is cool, but I'm gonna add some stuff to this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing, that exposure, you know, that exposure. I was exposed. So my vision for my life, my vision for my family was based off of the exposure that I had from seeing all of these guys in the NFL and seeing that the type of way they was living. So I knew it was possible. My boy was my boy. He didn't have money in college. You know, I used to let him drive my car. And then now to see him just come up overnight like that was like, man, this is possible. So a lot of guys in the police department, though, like you talk about the blue collar guys, they wasn't exposed to that. You know, it's like police officers only hang with police officers.
Now you're getting somewhere. Talk to me.
Police officers only hang with police officers. And so it's kind of like everybody their vision is according to what they see. But now, since I was able to go outside of that circle, I was exposed to a whole different kind of lifestyle, and I brought that culture back to the police department. I brought that culture back to my circle. And so, you know, like I said, that exposure was something, but a lot of times with the blue collar workers and the police officers, they only see time for money or money for time. You know, they can't see, like even some police officers to this day, I talk to them about the real estate thing, and everything is how much can I make per hour? And I let them know, like, it's not about how much you can make. That's that mindset you talking about.
Salary.
That's that salary. They only see time for money. If I stay here, I can make $20 an hour.
Right.
You know, but for what I see and for what I do, you don't make, it's not a time for money thing. You might not see it. You might put the work in the beginning and might not see the fruits of that labor to another 2-3 years from now. But yet the difference is that when you trading time for money, it has an expiration date to it. But when you're doing this investment thing, it's probably about 20 years ago and it's still taking care of me. It's still taking care of my family. And guess what? After I'm gone, it's gonna take care of my kids. It's gonna take care of my grandkids. That's the difference I saw also from the NFL. Even with the league, NBA, NFL, it all has an expiration date to it.
If your kids can't ball, unless you Peyton Manning and Eli, you know what I mean? And I don't know if they're going to pass that down to their sons. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many generations can you keep it going? And so let's get back to the story, Jay, because now you got this one property that's making you some money. And so what after that? You start saving?
I'm still living at home with my parents. And here it is, I'm making this money. And I said, okay, cool.
I don't even want you to go past that. He's still living at home with his parents.
Still living at home with parents.
A property that has 4 units.
Still driving a 1993 Chevy Blazer.
Oh, I love it. You know I like that dirty dog. I like Dirty Santa. I like that.
Dirty Santa. Yeah, go for it.
And then at that point, I bought my second property. And this time it was a 6-unit apartment building.
Yeah.
So now from that first building, that 4-unit, I was netting like $3,500 from that 4-unit building. And then now all of a sudden I started netting $5,000 from this 6-unit building. 22 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm netting over $8,500. I'm netting, not grossing. I'm netting over $8,500 from real estate alone at 22 years old. And yet I'm still making $1,200 every 2 weeks from the police department.
And so now you're starting to see this thing, and you're probably starting to believe now, like, whoa, okay, this is real.
Yeah.
Because there had to be a moment where you thought, okay, this is fake. This is about to run out. This can't last forever, right? There's this, feeling of, this is incredible. And so you continue buying properties.
My parents kicked me out the house because I would have stayed there forever. My parents said, hold on, dog, you making more money than us. You gotta go. You gotta get your own house. And so at that point, that's when me and Camille got married. And we had a whole wedding financed from our real estate. We went into our marriage with no debt. So
I went to the courthouse for $25.
So no debt either.
You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't as glamorous.
Same principle.
Same principle.
Hey, we got the same results, bro.
And so then you get married, and now you continue buying properties, and you're doing your thing, and then you and your wife now start looking at other business ventures, right?
Yeah. Well, before that, that's when we had our daughter, Mariana. And at that point, my wife was doing teaching. She had left Enterprise, and then she was doing some teaching, and she wanted to stay home with our child. But then after staying in the house with the child, she was like, hey, I still want to do something. I want to have an identity. And then at that point, my real estate agent, April, brought me a church that was for sale. And, at this point, I'm just buying up everything. I'm just like, Monopoly. I'm telling you, I'm just buying because it works. It just made sense. It made sense because real estate was taking care of our lifestyle. And so the more properties I bought, the larger our lifestyle grew. And then I knew that as long as we own these properties, our lifestyle could never get taken away from us. And so we went ahead and I bought the church and we renovated. We knew nothing about daycare centers, nothing. And we bought this first daycare center. We renovated, turned it to a daycare.
So you bought a church and turned it into a daycare center.
Turned it into a daycare center. This property is in Inglewood. I don't know if y'all familiar with Inglewood, but Inglewood's supposed to be the worst community. We bought this place because there was no daycare centers in that community. And we had 2 kids in there at the time.
Yeah, and whole church. So you're right. So you got the church, you renovated for a daycare, and then the doors open.
The doors open. We put our awnings up there, King's Kitty Kingdom. We had 2 kids. I love it. And one kid was my brother's son, so we weren't making no money from them. And then the other kid was my daughter.
And
I am so happy to be here.
And so, I mean, did you have a curriculum, or did you have what did you have?
I'll tell you something, man. We didn't have anything.
Yeah, tell the truth and shame the devil.
I'll tell the truth right now. We have a real talk right now. We didn't have anything.
Yeah, but a dream.
But a dream and a vision. A dream and a vision. And that's what I tell people all the time, bro. You got to have a vision too. You just can't have a dream because dreams happen when you sleep. But visions happen while you woke. And so we had a dream and a vision.
That's what I'm doing wrong.
Too many people out here dreaming.
I got to wake up. I got to wake up.
And we opened the doors, and we had a lot of faith too. A lot of faith, see, a lot of faith, man. And we opened our doors up, and I remember people was just coming in, and the way the building looked. Here it is a community that's been forgotten about, a community that's been run down. And we've put a lot of money into this property. Never took a bank loan out, by the way.
Sounds familiar.
Never took a bank loan out. We renovated this property from buying properties, fixing it, and selling. Once we bought the property, fixed it, and sold it, the profit we took 50% of that profit and put it into the daycare center. And then we took the other half and then bought another property to fix up again, to sell again. And so it took us 2.5 years to fix up that daycare center. But when we opened our doors up, like I said, we opened our doors with 2 kids. And then within 2 months, we had like 60 kids in the place. And then within a year's time, we had 100 kids in there. Now, keep in mind, bro, I'm a full-time cop. I got my real estate thing going on. And here it is, we got this daycare center. So at that time, man, that's when we called up my mother. We called my dad. We had our sisters in there. I'm in there. I took off from work. I was the cook. I was the janitor.
Right.
You know, I'm reading kids, you know, little stories,
Yeah,
things like that. I'm playing
yeah.
puppet master because we was not ready for everything that took place. I mean, we wasn't even ready for the income. We never did it for the income. That's the crazy part about it. We never even knew how much daycares actually even make. I just wanted to have a nice, safe, secure place for my daughter to be in. And then also, I wanted a place where my wife can have an identity. And I knew my wife, she's the face of the daycare centers, you know, and I knew that she was going to excel in it because she's that motherly type. But bro, we was not even prepared for the response from the community, and we wasn't prepared for the amount of money coming in. That one daycare center started bringing us in about $70,000 a month.
Yeah.
And let me ask this: what qualifications or research or whatever did your wife do to position herself for this position?
Oh yeah, so from the time period of 2.5 years when I was actually doing the construction to the property, my wife took early childhood education courses. We went to another course to own the daycare center, and my wife became the director. So she positioned herself in that time frame because we knew that paying directors, that's like an extra $40,000, $50,000 a year. And we was like, hey, well, that money could come into our house.
Right.
And so that business grew so fast.
You said $70,000 a month?
$70,000 a month. $70,000 a month is what we was making from.
I'm in the wrong business. I got to put the speaking thing up.
But you got to mess with the baby. He don't do well with the kids.
Not with the baby.
He don't do well with the kid. He got about 32 minutes with the kid. He choked him out.
Strong 32 though.
Yeah. So this thing is now turning into an enterprise all in its own. And so from there, you guys end up opening another daycare.
We opened up another daycare right across the street. We bought the cleaners out because the response was so overwhelming, and it was a cleaners right across the street. We bought the cleaners out. I renovated that daycare center. That cleaners and turned into a daycare center again. And before the doors opened up, we already had that place filled to capacity. And so now all of a sudden we're bringing in about $120,000 a month collectively between the two daycare centers. So now I said, hey, it worked twice, why not do it again?
Yep.
So then we bought another daycare center that was an existing daycare center. It's been around for 30 years and they had just closed their doors. Went in, renovated that daycare center, and then within 6 months time period, we had another 100 kids there. So now we're bringing in close to $200,000 a month from childcare.
Without getting hit on the football
But this don't
field.
have nothing to do with the properties now.
No, this is not real estate.
Completely
This is just from
separate.
this is just from childcare. And at this point, we was like, wow, we really own to something. And now the lifestyle,
Now you say you own to something. $200,000 in.
Yeah, but I just saw what it did though. Outside of even the money, it created jobs.
Yeah.
We was just, it's no better feeling, man, to actually see people and they say they prayed for this job. And then also parents saying, we prayed for this day. Thank you for putting this type of daycare center in our community and the type of community that's been forgotten about because everybody just keep putting garbage up in that area. And I think that's why we were so blessed because we actually made it look like it belonged in the Gold Coast or the North Side of Chicago. And we brought it into quote unquote the worst area. But it's
so you got the daycares now, and then and you got the construction company already now probably go up and going because you got all these properties as well, right?
Right.
So now you got the construction company that's out and they're doing their thing, renovating properties. You got the daycares going, and then after that, more recently, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead too far. You looked at another industry where you said, hey, I can probably do some things in this industry as well, and that happened to be the security industry.
That's correct.
And so and we just so happened to be at
in New
dinner
Jersey,
a couple weeks ago, and Jay was like, "Oh yeah, I own a security company too." Matter of fact, a couple of my security guards are right there in Neiman Marcus across the street right now.
Right.
I was like, "What?" But how did the security company then start? And this was just a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, just a couple years. It's called Illinois Security Professionals. Been around a couple of years, and that started my brother, who's a sergeant with the state police. Tommy.
Yep. Tommy. Shout out to Tommy.
Shout out to Tommy.
Tommy got a job. This Tommy got a job.
This Tommy
got about 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And so my big brother, man, I love dearly. He, my brother's a worker. Always been a worker, man, his whole life. Even when we were shorties, he used to work at McDonald's, worked at the cleaners. He always kept a job or 2 or 3 jobs. And, my brother has 2 sons, Matthew and Jeremiah, and, sons are very active in the sports. And, my brother, he used to always take them to practice, He used to take them to, they play basketball, they play football, and he would take them to practice. But sometimes it would conflict with one of his part-time jobs. And so, I seen my brother, man. I seen him trying to put them in the best schools. I seen him working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet, not getting sleep, sacrificing his health, not exercising and things like that. And then he was working part-time job after part-time job. And so I went to my brother like, hey, man, it's got to be an easier way. Because my nephews, sometimes they would come to me and say, hey, Uncle Jamal, can you take me to practice? My dad is either tired or too busy. And, and I know how my brother is, man. He loves his sons like no other. And I seen him trying. So, came to my brother, was like, hey, man, you ever thought about, start a security company?
Right.
Like, man, you're good at this. This is what you do. You're good at this. And then you command other officers. And then my brother was like, man, I don't know nothing about that. And I'm like, you know everything about it. You've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And so I just showed him the model, and I told him, hey, we can do this together. I help you out. This is what we both do. We come from the police. It shouldn't be anything harder than what we already been doing. And so we started Illinois Security Professionals, and just 2 years ago, and to make a long story short, at the end of our first year, we grossed $100,000. But now in year number 2, we have grossed in upwards of $2 million. So we went from $100,000 to $2 million.
In a year?
Yes.
And so basically, this is a staffing company. You get the staff basically for an event or, concerts coming to town or, buildings that need to be secured. They call you. You send not only security guards out, but also police officers.
Yeah,
so
we
actual
do,
police officers.
Yeah, we do senior homes also. We do commercial buildings. We do.
And you had the pipeline.
Yeah, we had the North Dakota pipeline. That was one of our largest contracts, went all the way through the state of Illinois. And so we had the state police handling that. And
so you've been able to not only start this company and, provide more income for your family, you've been able to free your brother up financially.
Absolutely.
And you've been able to hire police officers, friends who, need extra hours, who want to, maybe, save for Christmas time or whatever. Now you're able to employ them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the beautiful thing about this, and Jay has been able to, provide all of these, jobs, and become a multi-millionaire as a young. Still, Jay, how old are you now?
Man, I just turned 40.
Just turned 40.
Just turned 40.
Just turned 40 years old.
That's 30.
And I think the crazy thing is you've been able to build this world while being a full-time police officer. So those of you who are listening. Like, you didn't take off, you didn't stop for 8 months and a year and say, hey, let me stop being a police officer and do this. You did all of this while still being a police officer, 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, a Chicago police officer, and still a Chicago police officer to this day. And that was the thing that blew my mind about the story, because I'm like, okay, how in the world do you find time to manage all these things? To be able to put all these different people in position, like, it had to be hard to do. But I'm thinking, if you are able to do that as a Chicago police officer, and I'm not talking about everybody being a multimillionaire. Maybe that's not the goal. Maybe that's not the dream. Yeah. But what do you say to somebody out there who, wants to have their family be more financially free, but they just got this job where, for real, they're not. They make $1.25 more than they made last year, and it's just a standard raise and things of that nature. And they have these reasons as to why they can't, go to that next level or break through that barrier or find a side income or things for their family. What do you say to that person who's either scared to make that move, struggling to make that move, or don't believe it's possible?
Look at my life. Look at my life. Where I come from a blue-collar family. I didn't go to any special university. I worked as a Chicago police officer. I worked on midnights for the first 10 years of my career. And I worked midnights because I kept going during the daytime. I needed to work a job at night, so in the daytime, I slept in the afternoon, so I kept on sticking towards the vision that I had for my life, and I kept going. And so it's definitely possible. You just got to get out there and do it. You just got to find the time. What we did, though, we freed up the more properties we bought and the more it took care of a lot of our debt, it freed up time for us. And so I would say to that person, write down all your debt. Actually write it down on paper, all of your debt. And then for me, I use real estate to combat. So for every bill I had, I use a building to combat against that bill.
I like that.
I use a building to combat against every single bill that I had. So now once all of my debt was gone, erased, I didn't have to worry about my debt. Then at that point, it freed up time for me to do whatever it was I wanted to do in life. It's hard to try to pursue your passion or pursue your goal or dream when you got bills to pay. When you're worried about the mortgage payment or you're worried about how you're gonna eat. So what we did, once you clear all that debt, now you can walk in your purpose. You can go on a fast track pretty much.
Yeah, and this is the $1 million question. You probably still make 100 times more than you make as a police officer.
Oh man, that's not even.
Why didn't you quit a long time ago?
away.
You could have quit 10, 20 years ago, or 10, 15 years ago. You probably could have walked away and said, "I'm out of here."
Yeah.
Why are you even still to this day a police officer?
I think part of it still has to do with that legacy, man. It has to do with the whole thing, my parents and my brother, just my whole family structure dealing with the police department. All of my friends, because I've been an officer, all my friends are still police officers. Like my whole circle was nothing but the police. And so I always felt that I'm going to the same way how I was exposed to that NFL life 18 years ago, I'm exposing all of my inner circle now to this new kind of entrepreneur life. And so when you look at my circle, everybody around us that's police officers, they either got real estate, some of them even have opened up home daycare centers. Some of them work for the security company. And so we're exposing now, as I know what it did for me. And so that's what we've been committed to. So I never really looked at it as being anything that I had to get rid of. It was kind of like, when you play football, most people when they're in school, they go to school and that's all they do. I've always been, since I played ball my whole life, I'm used to going to school. I'm used to lifting weights. I'm used to going to study hall. I'm used to playing football. So I've always done more than what was required.
Yeah, and I think it's just maybe, is it odd or, you make more than probably the chief of police of the city. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So, and you've had to, hire maybe some of your superiors might work for you and things of that nature. And not to brag, you are. I wouldn't have you on the podcast if you were, somebody who was like into themselves. Like the reason, and let me just explain to the listeners. The reason I wanted Jay to come on here is not to be like, wow, but one, I've never heard of a multi-million dollar police officer. I just never heard of it. So it's an incredible story. But I think you guys should know, Jay is a Breathe University student and has been in Breathe U since we started. Was at the very first conference we ever put on ourselves in Connecticut. And we met him there. And every single conference, probably once every 3 conferences, I'd see Jay and his wife would be with him. He brought his son to one, and he would be there and he always would do VIP and whatever we had the top level package, Jay would be there. And so him and his wife, and so we started establishing this relationship. And I think even at one of the conferences, I gave you my number and I was like, yo, Jay, hit me up. And Jay never hit me up. I was like, all right, cool. I never even thought about it till I seen him the next time.
I saw people just say, hey, they give you a number and say, hey, hit me up.
Yeah, no, I get it. And, most of the time, we're in a position where, you give somebody a number, they're hitting you up. Okay, I'm taking you up on that. I seen you on the podcast. I see you around. Yo, you gave me my number. See, what's up? And you never really hit me. And I see you at, the marriage conference and I see you and your wife come out. And then finally, I was like, yo, what's up, man? Give me your number. Let me get your number. Let's text. And so you and I started to stay in contact and, and hanging out. And now we've obviously, built a friendship and a relationship. But I knew Jay for 4 or 5 years and I knew he was a police officer. That was it. Now I thought you was doing well because I'm like, he in Miami, he in LA at the conference.
I got a building that's actually
just for ETA.
It's just for conference. I got a building that pays for my Breathe U membership. It also pays for conferences. It pays for different self-help books. And so I got a property just for that too.
And I want to ask you why, in this pursuit, obviously, you started, listening to E and you kind of went on this journey with us. How has E's message and kind of
why is it even necessary? Because I'm thinking you already owning these.
But that's the thing I want to get to. That's stay right there, E, because you're right there where I'm trying to get. Because here you are making millions of dollars, living out your every dream. And you at every conference and then and you on Breathe You. You got the highest package, which is $200. You got whatever we got, you got, right? And I appreciate that, I really do. But it reminds me of like when they say Mike was the first one in the gym and the last one to leave.
Yeah. And I'm wondering where Kukos was.
Right, and I'm saying.
Like, where B.J. Armstrong?
Right, I'm saying.
Right.
And so,
what was he doing when Mike was in there?
What has, and not for you to like brag on us, but like, we tell people all the time on this podcast, yo, join Breathe You. Get involved in these challenges, be a part of our community, be a part of, come to the conferences and things like that. What has that done for you over the last, however long you've been listening to E, rocking with us, being in Breathe You? What has that really done for you?
Man, it helped take me to the next level. And so I think when the first time I met E, I called him Coach. I don't even think he realized what I was saying. I called him Coach. I was like, what's up, Coach? The reason why I call him Coach is because he helps push the message that he gives every single day. The message that you guys created helps give a little bit extra out of me. Whether it's in the gym, whether it's keep going, not getting just complacent with what I have, to keep going. And so, I call him Coach all the time. So, being in Breathe You, man, has given me brothers like yourself that's like-minded. Before I was saying that, I'm a Chicago police officer and I'm around other Chicago police officers. But where could I get around other entrepreneurs? Where could I get around other people that's going the same direction I'm going?
Absolutely.
And that's what Breathe You bring to me. Just being around you guys, man, it's crazy because, you guys are like family, and it's just like I automatically know you because I know that mindset you got. And that's why we was able to connect so tight. Carl, same thing, E, everybody that in Breathe You that I've met, Josh, it's like-minded people. So we always say iron sharpens iron.
No doubt.
And every time
no doubt.
I would get around you guys, I would go to the conferences because you guys would always sharpen my iron and I would come back to Chicago just charged. And then I would go back to the other police officers and expose them to what I learned from the conference or expose them to what I, just being in the presence of you guys. So, I want to thank you guys, man, because.
And that's amazing. And here goes the thing. We meet a lot of people and they come up, you know them, and they like, y'all come on, jump on my yacht real quick and, come back to my house and things like that. And Jay never said one word.
Nothing.
Like I literally, this information that y'all getting on the podcast, I had to pry it out of him one by one. Like I was like, and then what? And then what? And then what? Like I literally had to pry this information.
And I'm saying, let me stop there. I'm just like, I want y'all to really appreciate what CJ is doing. Because I'm saying me and Jay talked in Jersey. Like I knew it, I knew some of it, but I got this in Jersey a month ago maybe. And I'm saying CJ bringing it to y'all like now, like immediately as we got it.
Because I think it's so important for people to hear like, yo, you got a dream and you got to go. And here goes the thing. Jay just said it. You looking at money for money's sake. We're not talking about being a greedy, like Jay just told you, he was able to free up his brother's time and probably his marriage is better off for it. His relationship with his kids
his
now.
wife just bought some red bottoms.
His wife bought some, you know what I'm saying? His wife today. Right, so his wife, like he has freed his family up, other people in his community. And I think the most incredible thing is you said, you got the daycare centers and Chicago police officers' kids go to the daycare centers.
It's a community.
And you got the properties and you have some of your officers who live in some of those properties.
That's right.
You have the security company and some of those police officers work in the security company.
That's right.
And so you've built this entire community and this entire enterprise around what it is you're doing. And I think people need to learn how to leverage their network, how to work hard. And that's why this message is so important. I want to wind this down because we do have to finish up a tad early. We all got somewhere to be together. We're headed to an event together, the fellas. But I want to quickly ask you a couple more questions, and Jay, hopefully you'll join us on the podcast again because I think the information that you have is just incredible. And I know, guys, we kind of had to, run through the story. But I want to ask you this, and I think, this is for probably all of us. I'm not sure Carl, how much Carl feels because he got his squad with him, and maybe a different situation being from the islands. But do you ever feel any survivor's remorse? And what I mean by that is just, being blue collar, like even myself, you know what I'm saying? Like you got friends and family members who, maybe, I'm not saying they like about to get evicted or nothing, but they may not be. Yeah. I mean, you and your wife just went to Spain for, a couple weeks and y'all travel all over and y'all coming on the cruise with us in March. And, for me, sometimes you feel like, man, like, not do I deserve this, but like, I hope everybody don't feel bad, or I'm not trying to rub my lifestyle in people's face, or I don't want to be looked at as like, oh, he think he this or he think he that. And you are probably, one of the most humble gentlemen I've ever met in my life. But the reality is you do have an 18,000 square foot home that you worked very hard for. You built your dream home, right? In 5 minutes from the Magnificent Mile. And, you own this beautiful mansion, and it's got a gym in it, and it's got all these movie theater and a sports bar.
Don't lose your thought, but one small thing, y'all, if y'all meet Jamal is in shape.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just saying, it ain't a dude that just got,
he looked like he just got done playing yesterday.
Jamal in shape to this day while doing all of that.
Post-traumatic sports disorder, bro. I'm still stuck in the league mode. I didn't want to just have that lifestyle, but be out of shape.
Because then you don't have a lifestyle.
Then you don't have a lifestyle. So I wanted to still have to build.
And so, do you ever feel like, even with, your friends are police officers and they're coming over to a mega mansion, to like to come over to your sports bar and y'all work together. Like you work side by side and they coming over and like having a beer in the sports bar. And it's like, yo, what in the world? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so how do you deal with that part of it? Is it awkward ever, or do you kind of feel like, man, this is...
See, it's kind of almost like the same experience that I felt 20 years ago.
With the football,
when I was going to my man's mansion. It's the
You're
same.
hoping they take it like that.
I hope that they take it that way and kind of say, hey, if Jay could do it, and I can do it too.
Absolutely.
And I'm just like my man did for me, I'm opening my house up and showing them.
Absolutely.
Like I'm not being standoffish and saying, hey, look what I got. I'm saying, hey, bro, partake in what we got. This is what we have. Come see, this is real. So so I'm opening my life up.
The house that we built.
Yeah, it's the house we built. And so I don't ever come off that kind of way, and everybody know that I've helped them open up daycare centers. I've helped them purchase real estate. I've shown them how to do it. I've even, some of my buddies that wanted to get in real estate, I partnered up with them. These are police officers, because they kind of like, hey man, I don't know nothing about it. And police officers only really trust police officers. And so I show them, hey, look, I'll partner up with you and I'll show you how to do it. And so I kind of like bring them into my life so that they don't feel uncomfortable.
I think that's dope. And how did it feel to build your dream home? Real quick. Jay got I haven't been there yet.
How does it feel?
Yeah, how does it feel?
It's so big, he still got some room.
It's really, and I mean, you got to know the history behind the house. It's me and my wife always talk about this is like a legacy house. Even on all of our shower doors, it's a glass. We have a family crest that we created, and I was showing the other day.
Unbelievable.
With God, all things are possible. And it's everywhere. It's on the front door, it's on the floors, in the shower. I mean, it's just all throughout the house. With God, all things are possible. So it's kind of one of the things when you walk in the door, it's one of the things where you just continuously thank God, because I could have had just that regular life.
No question.
I thank God that I'm able to still have this lifestyle, and that home that we have, we built that home and made it that large because we were thinking about the generations to come after us. We were thinking about the family reunions at this house. We might not even be alive, but our great grandkids will know us based off of what they see.
That's incredible. And for those who know the history of Chicago, this house is on what they call Millionaire's Row, right?
Yeah, Millionaire's Row. Yeah, made 1885.
And a lot of black servants used to be in that house. So Jay was telling me that every single room has an entrance and an exit out the back because the servants were only allowed to come in the back.
Yeah, it has 2 staircases. The front staircase is made of mahogany wood. That's the most expensive wood you can buy. The rear staircase for the servants was made out of pine wood, which is the cheapest wood that you can buy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and so Jay,
just wrap it up right now.
We're going after that.
That's the nugget of the day.
I promise you.
What you getting mahogany or you getting pine?
There's so much more. And Jay, I appreciate you sharing the story, because I know Jay like uncomfortable even talking about it, but I'm like, yo, you have to. And over the past couple of weeks, I've just been kind of telling you the importance. And Jay's like, man, I'm not a speaker. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bruh, the information that you have is going to inspire people across the world. And so, I hope y'all were able to take a lot of that, man. We'll jump into Ask ET. I only got one question for Ask ET. And Jay, I think you could help out on this. And this would be a community effort because it was a heavy one. But Jay, you'll come back on the podcast, man, and share with us.
Anytime.
Jay's family. Now, he'll be on the cruise. For those of you who are on the cruise, it was so funny, guys, because I was at the event in Newark. And it's crazy because you don't know, and I tell you guys this all the time. Stop just running by people and coming up to people because you think they somebody and you want to meet E.T. because he inspired you. We're at the conference in Newark, and people are running right past Jay. I'm talking about right past Jay, running up to me like, nah, I'm in real estate, CJ, and I'm trying to, I said, look, only house I ever bought is the one I live in. Okay, doggone it. Here go your real estate guy right there, and Jay was just right there, and by the end of the time, Jay, I think you know, I had introduced you to so many people and, you know, maybe even said your name a couple times. And so by the end of it, you know, I had took a video of Jay. He was at the table. he was just teaching class. I just snuck a video.
I didn't even know
and I was like, yo, welcome to your new life because you have to be able to teach people this. You have to be able to teach people how to become financially free. Families how to become financially free. There's a guy, a husband listening to this right now whose family is just right at the brink of broke and he's stressed out about it. You have to teach him how to go to that next level. It's a wife, a mother listening who's got that business idea, who just wants to start it on the side. And I believe you're going to be a huge help. And our Breathe You students already know you. They already know to call on you. You have them down for dinner. They come to your house. Jay rented a yacht. That's another thing that made me curious. We were down in Miami at the marriage conference, and Jay had a yacht, and everybody was out on the yacht before the conference. They came in, and everybody's like, yeah, we just got off the yacht. I was like, who had a yacht? They was like, Jay got a yacht for the weekend. I was like, man, I need to switch up and become a Chicago police officer. I was like, I know it's dangerous in Chicago. They about to be paying extra. You know what I'm
Still
saying?
got time.
So yeah, nah, man, I thank you for that. And like I said, we had a bit of a shortened podcast today because we got stuff to do. But I promise you, anytime you want to come on, we'll have you back on. Matter of fact,
I'd like to have
we'll
it in
make
your
sure.
house.
No,
I'd like to come to the house and record one in the house.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it would do video. But maybe you could jump on the podcast for a bit on the cruise as well.
Definitely.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that. So thanks, Jay.
Let's see if we get some security detail on the cruise.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, for sure.
You need childcare too? Childcare?
Yeah,
for
We
sure.
need childcare on the cruise too?
Oh, no question.
We got it all.
Question.
So, Ask ET brought to you by Organifi, Organifi.com. Guys, you know the promo code SUCCESS. Listen, man, Organifi, all natural, all green. You heard Sean talk about it. Sean broke it down so good, I can't even try to break it down. But Organifi.com, guys, we are in the new year. If you're looking for some different results, you got to do something different. The Organifi give you all the energy you need, man, give you all the greens you need. For those of you who not going to sit there and make a smoothie and spend, 30 minutes a day blending all these veggies up every day, get the Organifi, man. Try it out, check it out. Let us know how it is, man. We're getting testimonials from people all over the world saying they're trying it, the green juice, the red juice, and it's been incredible, been phenomenal. Shout out to my boy Evan, who just reordered his stuff, man. He's going crazy with it, getting slim, looking good. Organifi.com. That's www.organifi.com. Use the promo code SUCCESS to get 20% off. All right, E, I know we got to run, but I had to get this, all right? I had to get this. This young lady, and she asked for her name not to be read, but she said, are y'all ready for this? Yeah. She said, hey guys, Happy New Year. Let me start by saying I'm so glad I found this podcast. You guys keep me laughing so hard and give me insight for my business, and it has been invaluable. I have a question that may even be a fair or foul. On Christmas Day, I got the surprise of my life. My boyfriend of 3 years finally proposed, and I said yes, and it was amazing. Now, my boyfriend had been engaged once before, but it didn't work out. All information that I was aware of. However, I never asked him what happened to the ring. You can probably guess where this is going. Long story short, I asked him if it was the same ring he used to propose to his ex-fiance, and he admitted that yes, in fact, it was.
Boss
Of
move.
course it is. Of course it is.
She said, wait, there's more.
Oh, man.
It's a family heirloom formerly owned by his grandmother. So it's not like he could just take it back and exchange it for a new one, but still I feel some kind of way. In the famous words of CJ, am I tripping or? Your insights would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, no, you're tripping. I'm going to just say it. You're tripping.
Yeah, so I do understand. I do understand.
Yo, I went back and forth. I read this the other day. Somebody sent an email to us, and I was like, whoa, I get what she's saying.
I do. But I'm saying, what's the alternative is where I'm struggling at. Okay, so I understand what your challenge
Keep
is.
your grandma a little ring.
But what do you do?
Go to jail.
What do
Go
you
to
do?
jail.
You feel me?
He
So
went to jail.
that's why I'm like, look, mama, you're a little, caught right now because, so for me, I'm saying, yeah, when you threw grandma in there, at first I was kind of like, oh, my man being cheap right now. Right. But when you threw grandma in, it's still sentimental. Yeah, and it's still his grandmother.
But is it, if they live in the same little community and she had been rocking it around, showing everybody, and now you come up a couple years later?
My whole take on that kind of stuff, see, but I'm trying to grow. And get a little bit, I'm trying to lose some of my conservativeness and become a little bit more liberal.
I'm just saying, if she had the ring on, if they run in the same circles, you know what I'm saying? Like my man taking her around the same friend.
The precious.
Yeah.
Here's my thing though. He didn't marry her though. And he didn't do anything wrong. Whatever happened, he came out of it the way he's supposed to come out. So it wasn't like he got married, then took the ring, then gave it to homegirl. So he didn't do anything wrong, and he's just still trying to honor his grandma. So I'm saying to her,
But let me tell my man, look, if your husband is listening, look, bro, pick one and stick with it, because you can't keep talking grandma.
This is my third sin. That's where I say I don't want to go there, because y'all know the conservative E, and I'll be going on and on about how you get her, and I'm going to leave that alone. We're going to leave all that alone.
It didn't work out. They got engaged, it didn't work out.
It didn't work out, but definitely don't be shooting that gun on the red. Not at all. Whatever, but.
Let me get my grandma ring back.
No. But I would say to my man, at some point, though, when you hear this podcast and learn what Maul is saying and blow up, you might want to get secondary. You might want to get secondary rock, bro.
Backup rock.
Let her rock that.
Tell her to think of it like Cinderella's story. The glass slipper.
Yeah.
He tried the glass slipper on somebody else and it didn't fit.
Yeah, it didn't fit.
So now he put it on her.
He got to
and
be
it was a
back on the
perfect fit.
No question.
It was a perfect fit.
That'd be sweet if she was 6 years old.
And believe the parents.
No, you're right, though. You're right.
My man,
But I'm saying, the fact that she don't want to use her name, I can see something about her already. And so she probably ain't on fairy tale. But no, for real, I see it that way. And hopefully, see, honestly, the one thing I would ask her to do, though, is for real, make a decision. And then don't bring it back up.
Yeah.
Not even to him. Don't even bring it back up in your mind.
So I'm saying, if she don't want to wear the ring and she want a new ring,
well, that's fair. She can say that.
That's fine.
fair.
I'm saying it's fair. It's fair. Like that's her feeling. I'm saying you don't want to be looking at it.
But what about grandma's ring?
She can still have that and keep it in the jewelry box.
That's what I said. But he messed up though. You know what I'm saying? In that he did give it to homegirl. Whatever. What I'm saying.
That's slipper, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying what you said. If I were her, I would just take it as, yo, this means a lot to you. You know, I'm going to take it, and then just let my man know however you feel. But all I'm trying to say, is once you make your decision, don't come back and be upset about it or let somebody bring it back up. If you decide to go for it, go for it. But to my man, I wish I had your name. This better be the last time grandma ring get passed.
I mean,
I hope you really know what you're doing, bro.
Right.
You thought this whole thing through.
Right.
'Cause after that, you can just burn grandma ring.
Oh, that's
give it
it.
to one of your cousins.
That's it. Or just don't tell nobody it's grandma ring. Yeah, I'm just saying don't tell nobody it's grandma.
Okay,
might be the only boy. But I'm going to say, I get both sides of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? If homegirl rocked it around Jay, you got to think about it. You get engaged for sure, man. You bringing her around, you know what I'm saying? Making it happen. Like, your boys see, and then like here come the new, and she got the ring. It can be a little sticky, so I get it. But at the same time, it's grandma's ring. I just tell my man, please let this be the last one, whatever you do.
So couldn't he just use that as an engagement ring, but then go buy another one? For the wedding?
Yeah, I think you can probably get a new wedding ring for sure.
Got an engagement ring.
Yeah,
of course. The wedding ring. So just leave that as engagement and then get the wedding ring.
No, you're right. All right, cool. That's it, guys. We're gonna run. He just ran out the door, so we'll get him to do a nugget of the day later. So, Carl, any closing words? We got conferences to talk about. What do we got? So
immediately, of course, we got the 20,000-pound challenge, y'all.
Yes.
So make sure if you're not a part of it, get in there, y'all. We trying to keep each other accountable.
We just started, so we ready to rock and roll on that.
I'm talking about start the year at your peak. Other than that, we are doing a couple events coming up. We'll probably just put it on our events page. We're finalizing dates now for our Take Control Entrepreneurship events. Other than that, the cruise is right around the corner. The cruise.
Nice.
You ready, Jay?
Get my beach body together, boy.
Oh, if you need to get a beach body, what we gotta do?
I'm doing 5-6 miles a day.
What we gotta
Oh
do?
yeah. Wow, he came back. We got to get the beach bodies ready.
I'm saying if Jay and the beach
I don't know if I got
body,
March 2020. I might not be able to get it ready. You know what I'm saying? Even doing the vegan,
Hey,
but I don't know.
I'm not in the football. Neither to have that desire to be in football. I want a swimmer's body.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. All right, cool. Yeah, we appreciate y'all rocking with us as always, man. Much love. Happy New Year, y'all. For real, man. It's a new year. Let that foolishness from 2017 go, whether good or bad. We all starting with a blank slate. We ready to go. Except me, I start with platinum medallion apparently, because I hit that platinum on Delta, and I guess you get to keep it.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow.